Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a bombshell of a report to share with you. For starters, I want to take you back to something that happened in 2016. Something that's so powerful that it answers a lot of the questions to what's happening today via censorship on all branches of the internet, from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube to Spotify to everything under the sun. And this little piece answers the question to what is going on. Now, I reported on this earlier in the year that it was happening, but I wanted to bring it back fresh up so many of you understand the level that's at stake here with what is going on with the internet. Well, I've got a clip that I want you to hear by Ted Cruz in a 2016 hearing. Take a listen.
Mr. President, today our country faces a threat to the internet as we know it. In 22 short days, if Congress fails to act, the Obama administration intends to give away control of the internet to an international body akin to the United Nations. I rise today to discuss the significant, irreparable damage this proposed internet giveaway could wreak not only on our nation, but on free speech across the world.
That was Senator Ted Cruz back in 2016 warning that if the Obama administration signs over basically the internet to ICANN, a group that's akin to the United Nations, that if that happens, that we will lose our freedom of the internet and that we will be censored. Maybe this answers a lot of the questions that are happening with censorship today. In fact, as many of you are aware, and I reported on this, Barack Obama did hand over the internet. Check out this report, and this is on the Washington Times from September 2016, and it's titled, "Obama Gives Away the Internet, and with it, our liberty." Who exactly is ICANN? Well, ICANN is an acronym, and it stands for Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers. And you know what? They're a lot like the United Nations in that they have a whole group of countries from all over the world involved, over 100 of them. But you see, Ted Cruz expanded on just who they are. Take a listen to what he has to say about the group that we gave our internet to.
The Obama administration is instead pushing through a radical proposal to take control of internet domain names and give it to an international organization, ICANN, that includes 162 foreign countries. And if that proposal goes through, it will empower countries like Russia, like China, like Iran, to be able to censor speech on the internet.
So Russia, China, Iran, countries like this can control what you and I say on the internet? And just to go back a little bit, Apple sold out China citizens to the China communist regime. Was it because they have some kind of push in ICANN? Is it because ICANN wants some kind of Chinese style censorship to rule over the internet, to rule over our freedoms? I don't know. But here's what else Ted Cruz had to say about ICANN.
You look at the influence of foreign governments within ICANN. It should give us greater and greater concern. For example, ICANN's former CEO, Fadi Shahadi, left ICANN to lead a high-level working group for China's World Internet Conference. Mr. Shahadi's decision to use his insider knowledge of how ICANN operates to help the Chinese government in their conference is more than a little concerning. This is the person who was leading ICANN, the body we are being told to trust with our freedoms. Yet this man has gone to work for the China Internet Conference, which has rightly been criticized for banning members of the press, such as the New York Times and the Washington Post.
So a leading person at ICANN sells out to the communist regime. Is that just another coincidence? Maybe. Maybe ICANN plans to use the rules and regulations here in America where we have, at least for now, a version of it, freedom of the internet. Maybe that's the case. Take a listen.
Now, once this transition happens, there are serious indications that ICANN intends to seek to flee United States jurisdiction and to flee United States laws.
Or maybe not. Apparently, ICANN has no intention of using any of the rules that we have in America for the internet and freedom of the internet. No, I'm afraid they want a little more censorship. But yet, in 2016, Obama signed up and gave away the rights of the internet anyway, knowing exactly what it would do to our freedom. And what are we seeing today? We're seeing censorship galore. We're seeing prominent figures taken off after outlet after outlet after social media. They're being removed one by one by one. You have a Christian view, you're removed. A little conservative, pro-Trump, patriotic view, you're removed. But see, Ted Cruz even gave us a warning back in 2016 of what that censorship would look like. Take a listen to what he said.
Imagine searching the internet, and instead of seeing your standard search results, you see a disclaimer that the information you were searching for is censored. It is not consistent with the standards of this new international body. It does not meet their approval. Now, if you're in China, that situation could well come with the threat of arrest for daring to merely search for such a thing.
We may not be at the point of rounding up people like China is, but I do believe we're getting closer to the censorship of internet of where China is. And we definitely could cross the line with some evil dictator in charge. Who knows? Not only that, but Ted goes on to mention censorship that's already happening here.
Leading technology companies in the United States, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Microsoft, reached an agreement with the European Union to remove, quote, hate speech from their online platforms within 24 hours. Giant U.S. corporations signing on with the government to say, we are going to help you censor speech.
So what exactly is this hate speech that is bad? Is it, racism where one's saying and calling names? Is it violence? Is it actual hate speech? Or is it something else?
And by the way, the definition of, quote, hate speech, we have seen can be very, very malleable depending upon what norms are trying to be enforced. For example, the Human Rights Campaign, which is active within ICANN, has featured the Family Research Institute, the National Organization for Marriage, the American Center for Law and Justice, and other conservatives and religious groups in a report entitled The Export of Hate. We are facing the real possibility of an international body having the ability to censor political speech if it is contrary to the norms they intend to enforce.
Well, according to organizations like ICANN, it's conservative Christian views. Is it coincidence that these are the exact views that are being targeted today? Is it a coincidence that all these outlets ban a particular news outlet all at the same time? Is it okay for these outlets to pick off who they want because, quote, the government isn't involved, when I believe they really are? In some level, some branches, and keep in mind, there's people, congressmen and senators standing for our freedoms, freedom of the internet. But there's also congressmen and senators not standing for our freedom of the internet. The truth is, the internet is becoming a new world order global system. It's already global all across the internet. But the truth is, the internet is a global system. It's right now, it's worldwide. The question is, who's going to control it? What's going to be controlled? Who's going to be silenced? Who isn't? Is it going to be run by countries, or is it going to be run by an international world order? TikTok. Now is the time to vote in people who stand with freedom of your internet, or you're going to lose it. Anyhow, please don't forget to check out my partner at NobleGoldInvestments.com. They help me stay on air here, and I believe in what they do. Now is the time to convert your 401ks into something a little more solid, like a Roth IRA, something backed by gold, silver, these kinds of things. So check it out in the links below. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven signing out.